Hi there, welcome to the Healthy Happy Hour. You've joined us today, and so has a fly, apparently. A fly came from nowhere, so we got this cool little fly trap. Maybe he'll take care of himself and take care of that fly in just a moment. Glad to have you here on this Tuesday. We're going to be making Mediterranean chicken today. You know, we were studying the Apostle Paul this past Sunday at our small group at church, and we were talking about all of his trips around the Mediterranean to Cyprus and, of course, to Antioch and all of those places. And I just got to thinking about Mediterranean. Let's do some Mediterranean cooking. All the folks that talk about eating Mediterranean, it's always healthy. So let's do some Mediterranean chicken, and we're going to combine it with some Spanish rice. But rice, I'm using my new favorite vegetable, rutabaga, to make rice. We'll show you how to do that. All right, first of all, we want to make a garlic paste. If you ever see a recipe for garlic paste, you may wonder, what is garlic paste? Well, I don't know that you can buy garlic paste. You have to make garlic paste. So we're going to make some garlic paste here. We're going to take 3 cloves of garlic, and these are massive cloves of garlic, large rascals. Actually, I just think I'm going to use 2. They're so big. So we're going to take these and get all of the paper off of them, because we don't want any of that left. It will not paste up very well. Okay, so let me get all of this little mess off right here as well, all the hard stuff off. Okay, we're going to take our little mini cutting board here, and we're going to mince this up very, very small as we possibly can. Then we're going to come back and cross mince it as well, because we want to have all of this minced up as much as possible. I've already got my skillet, got some heat going in my cast iron Dutch oven. Let me see if I can get this even a little smaller, because again, we're going to be making a paste out of this. So the smaller you start it with, the better off you'll be. And I need a wet paper towel under this so it won't continue to slide around with me. That's always a secret to your cutting boards, is putting a wet paper towel under them, and I failed to do that going into today's program. So we're going to put that right there. Now what we're going to do is take some kosher salt. This is one of the times when I do suggest you use kosher salt. Kosher salt will act as an abrasive, and it'll help to put these things into a paste. It'll help to do that. So you just work that kosher salt in.
Why do you want it to be in a paste instead of just
as
is?
Good question, because the paste is going to give it a little more flavor, because what I'm going to do is make some slits in my chicken breast. And actually today I'm using chicken thighs, and here's why. Debbie can't really process chicken breasts so well. She had gastric bypass. It was a failed attempt at weight loss many years ago. Wish we had never done it. She had gastric bypass surgery, and now she can't process chicken breast for the most part. So we try to use chicken thighs when available. So here I've got some thighs, and I'm just going to make a couple of slits.
Diane Russell is watching.
Hey, Diane. Good to have you on there. Congratulations to your son, Mr. Bubba, who won the track championship at Livonia. That's a cool deal. Always good when you can win a track championship. And I've got some slits there, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to rub this paste down in these slits. That's going to help to season it and give it a little bit of seasoning down in the meat itself, rather than if you do it in the meat, with just a clove of garlic, you kind of get garlic on the outside. You don't get any garlic going down in it. So we're going to put some of this down in there and get it all in the meat itself. That's a good thing, as Martha Stewart would say. Huh. So then we're going to do that right there and get all that down in oil in my cast iron skillet. I've already patted these dry with a paper towel. So we're going to put those in and just kind of let them get golden brown just for a few minutes. We're just going to brown them up. And again, I'm using some very large boneless thighs. So I'm going to put those in. I'm going to get this out of the way, move it over here, and wash up just a little bit to get that poultry off of me.
We had a slow connection for a moment. Tell them what the oil is.
You know, the oil, we had a slow connection, and we've had that lately. I don't know exactly why. Got the oil going right here. That's just 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And got the thighs in there, so they're going to just start browning a bit. We got a lot of things to add to this.
What
and again,
is this boiling in the bag?
Oh, that's the bones from the thighs. I'm just making me some broth for later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is not a big deal. That's just a little broth for later down the road. So That's what's going on there. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to wash my cutting board off here because I'm going to reuse this cutting board that I used for the chicken. So I'm going to wash it off very well and dry it. And we'll be ready in just a moment to get it back over here for the other ingredients.
But now people can use chicken breast if they wish.
Absolutely. The recipe that I send you will call for chicken breasts. I just use thighs because, again, Debbie can't process breasts very well after her failed gastric bypass. It wasn't failed gastric bypass. It's just that gastric bypass wasn't the best option. No. We found out later we probably shouldn't have done that.
Jimmy Robinson is watching.
Hey, Jimmy, of course. Jimmy's always watching. Jimmy is a good friend who always watches this program. So we're going to let those continue to do that. Now, while this is going on, I want to show you something over here. I'm making rutabaga rice. Here is rutabaga rice. Look at that. Look how cool that is. And first of all, with your rutabagas, you have to cut them up into smaller chunks like this. Because with rutabagas, you have to spiralize them, which means running them through and making noodles. And I have to really hold this down because a rutabaga is a tough animal, a tough vegetable. I was just using the term animal as a funny. And
I think people know rutabaga is not an animal.
Rutabaga is not an animal. I want to make sure I get this exactly right for the Facebook police. So I'm going to chop this up too because this little end right here will go in. So we're going to put these now in the food processor. And I've already done most of this, by the way, so I'm just doing a little bit to show you how that I achieved this. So we put these pseudo noodles that I made from rutabaga into the food processor. And we'll pulse it for 30 seconds or so. And that gives us the right consistency. Well, I probably should have gone a little longer on some of these, but anyway.
That's okay.
There's pretty much the right consistency. I did these others a little better, but the right consistency for rice.
So like
this will become our rice. Looks like what is that? Jasmine rice that's yellow? Yeah, looks like jasmine rice. That's a good thing. Okay, now we're going to take these chicken thighs. They're starting to get a little color, and we're going to turn them over and let them continue to get just a little more color on them.
Did you pound these out?
I did not. Now, if it was chicken breast, I probably would pound them out, but I didn't with the chicken thighs because they're kind of thin anyway, especially after you take the bone out, they're relatively thin. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil, put it in our skillet, and then we're going to put the rice in there. We're going to not really toast it, but we want to get it done about 3 or 4 minutes, and if it gets a little color on it, that's good too for Spanish rice. So while this is going on, we're going to prep our vegetables for the chicken. And again, I'm making some broth over here, but I am using chicken broth in this. If I'd have done it ahead of time, I would have had plenty of broth to have used for this. Okay, so let's start getting what's going to go in there ready to go. Now, this is going to take some chicken broth. We're also going to use a can of, that goes over here. We're going to use a couple of Roma tomatoes that we're going to cut up. We're going to use a red onion, the juice of a lemon, and we're going to cut up some olives and put in here as well. That's an interesting thing. So that's going to go in our Mediterranean chicken. Remember, Mediterranean, we were in Italy. Remember the olive fields and all of those things? Very important that we use some olives in our Mediterranean dish.
Debbie Roberts is watching.
Hey, Debbie. Well, I hope you're feeling better. I talked to Debbie a little while, or we communicated a little while ago. She's not feeling well, so hopefully that will be able to be
maybe some Mediterranean chicken.
Yeah, maybe some Mediterranean chicken will do this for you. So I'm going to put part of my oregano. I'm just putting half of the oregano, and I'm putting half of the salt. Again, we use low sodium, Morton's low sodium salt, very important, and half the pepper. I'll put more in a little later. So right now we're going to take the onion, and let me go back over here and grab the knife again. So I'm going to take my onion, and I'm going to quarter it, because we found out quartering makes it so much easier.
I like to watch you do onions.
Yeah, this quartering method is just so good. You just do that number right there, and then come along like this after you quarter it, and it automatically dices it for you.
And I love the purple onions.
Yeah, I'm using red onion here. The Mediterranean chicken calls for red onion. The Spanish rice doesn't necessarily, but since I'm using half of the onion here and half of the onion there, what the heck? You know, the rule of thumb is that you take anytime you're going to be cooking, you use a white onion, and anytime you're going to be eating it raw, you use a red onion. That's kind of the rule of thumb. But sometimes, all rules of thumb are meant to be broken. Sometimes the red onion is used for color in specific things, and sometimes we don't have a red onion around, so we use a white onion for our our cooked things or our raw things. So anyway, this is we're starting to build a little fond, and Debbie, if you'll look right over here, see, fond is this brown stuff. That's starting to get on the bottom. That's a combination of the juice of the meat coming out and browning, as well as some of the garlic that's browning on there. So we're going to get that going right there for just a minute.
Sullivan's watching.
Hey, Elaine, it's always good to hear from you and see you. We've completed our season at Toccoa Raceway and did not see you there this year. Of course, I wasn't there every race. Hopefully, Elaine, we'll get you coming to a race here soon. I still want to see you at the racetrack. I know how much you love it. I know how much Jerry loved it. And he would like for you to be there. I promise you that. So I'm going to use my same utensil, being that we're going to merge these together at the end. And I'm going to let this rice just get a little bit of like I say, just a little color to it. We're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. We're going to let that go and just kind of sit here and get happy for a while. So we're going to let that do its thing. Meanwhile, we're going to mince up this garlic, and I'm going to do it over here. Sweetheart, this is my rice cutting board. That one over there is my Mediterranean cutting board. So we're going to put that over there and get rid of these things, and we're just going to mince this garlic up. Cut that.
So you're not going to make a paste here?
Nope, no paste here. This is just regular old minced garlic. And we do that just by, this is a more steady cutting board, so that's why I want to use it. And I can get in here and really mince this up by doing this. That's wanting to make a noise. I want that. I tell you what, knife skills is one of the most important things to learn, and having a sharp knife is extremely important. I'm big on sharp. Debbie hears me in here all the time, sharpening and honing my knives. And
75 times.
Yeah, 75 times or 100 times, depending on how dull they are. I count. Yeah, I'm a counter, so I count and make sure I have it just like I want it. That almost looks like corn, doesn't it?
It does. So
okay,
yellow.
So we're going to go over here now. We're going to turn these once again. Oh yeah, they're starting to get a little color on them now. That's for sure. So that's what we're wanting right there. Is a little bit of color. And of course, that's not done yet. We got a lot of things we're going to add to this. So while we do that, let's get ready to put our onion in. Well, we're gonna let that go for just a minute more. I want that to have a little more color in it. So while that is doing its thing, we're going to let this rice continue to cook down. Again, we have a little bit, as you noticed, whenever I was ricing this, there wasn't a lot of moisture in the rutabaga. So we want some of the moisture to cook out, but it's not, I got garlic on my face. We don't want a whole lot of that to come out, so we're going to let that go and do its thing there for a while and get a little bit more of that moisture out. In the meantime, I'm going to dice up a couple of tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. I like to use them because they have less moisture in them than a regular tomato. More, I guess you call it meat. We call it tomato meat, don't we? Mm-hmm. More meat, less seeds. Yeah, it's a meaty vegetable. So we're going to set that aside and get ready to use that in a minute. And again, I'm doing this just sort of like I did the onion. I'm just dicing it like this.
You don't cut the ends off?
I thought I did already.
You didn't on that one.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I cut off this end right here, the stem end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I cut that off. Now I'll just dice this up.
Not trying to tell you what to do.
Oh, that's okay. Believe me, I need it because many times I forget what I'm supposed to do. So all this is going to go in there together at the same time, so that's not a problem. Now let's switch back over to the rice cutting board, and I'm going to dice this onion up and get it ready to put in there. Got to keep an eye. Hey, Danny. Yeah, Danny had a car that finished well the other night, and he also had Terry Calhoun, who's done very well. Well, he had a car that won the first night, and then came back with Terry and finished a good second race in that car. Good to see that car doing well and out front.
Mindy Epps is watching.
Mindy, I haven't heard from Mindy in so long. Mindy, I hope you're doing good. All right, sweetheart, we're going to go back over here. Yeah, rice starting to get a little color on it.
It has a lot of color anyway.
Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm going to reduce the heat on that. Okay, now the chicken, Oh yeah, now we're building up fond in the bottom. We're going to get that all loosened up here. And you talked last week about deglazing the pan. Well, we're going to do that.
Okay.
And we're going to do it with a little bit of chicken broth. Now, a lot of these things from the Middle East, from Mediterranean, not Middle East, from the Mediterranean, call for white wine. All right, well, we're healthy, so we're trying not to use wine. So I'm putting 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Wine adds some acidity. So we're trying to add some acidity to this. And I'm going to take my spoon and get all of this fond. That's that brown stuff. That's the pan drippings, and that's just good flavor. We're trying to get all of that up that we can and get that into the
Murray
mix.
Is watching.
Hey, Roger. Roger's always watching. Good to see old Roger on here. So we got that going. I think Roger may have been at the ball game Friday night. It's good to see folks. I see so many people that I haven't seen at racetracks in years. When we're doing the tailgate show for the Stevens County Indians, I get to see them at the Indian Reservation. And it's good to see all these people that I haven't seen in a while. Glad to see them around. Pardon me, sweetheart. Let me get my bench scraper here. And I'm going to go ahead now and put my tomatoes in and put my onion in at the same time. And we've let that chicken get semi-done, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to transfer this over to the to the big dog. Let's see, is that too hot? Yes, that's too hot to handle. So it is time to get out my checkered flag, my gingham.
I'm glad you know the difference.
I do know the difference in checkered flag and gingham, but even though they have the same characteristics. So we're going to let that do a little bit of simmering as well. And so we're going to let that come up to a boil. We want that to reduce down about half. We're going to reduce that chicken broth down about half. We're going to get our, I'm going to set that right there just for a moment. We're going to get this lemon ready to juice. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I don't want all of this lemon in there because I want to be able to garnish with a couple of slices of lemon. So I'm going to put them aside. And speaking of garnishes, just watch the pot there for a second, sweetie, while I do this. I'm going to have a little bit of garlic, pardon me, parsley here that I'm going to garnish with at the end. My buddy, Jay Lanacourt, I've been really watching his, he is an expert chef. And I've been watching a lot of his videos, and he makes such beautiful presentations of food. I'm trying to do better with that. So I'm learning how to do a little more garnishing and that kind of thing at the end to make these things more beautiful. So we're going to work on that as well. All right, so we've got the rice going. Now we want to take a can. This is just a can of petite diced tomatoes. These are from Quality Foods. They're our sponsor on this program. Quality Foods in the Town Plaza Shopping Center in Toccoa. Going to put that in there and stir that around.
Is this what makes it Spanish?
This is one of the things that makes it Spanish. Yes, it is. So that is one of the things. Here is tomato paste. That's going in. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So that's going to go in as well. Pardon me, sweetie. Now let me get over here and get the onion. I'm going to put this onion in there. And we're going to let it get kind of happy. Oh, pardon me. And I'm also going to use a little bit. It calls for either red, green, or yellow bell pepper. And I'm going to use just a little of all 3. Aren't these beautiful bell peppers? Again, these are from Quality Foods. Man, just beautiful things. And I'm going to dice this up and put this in as well. So just a little bit of this. Now, you don't want to cook these all the way through. So you put these in kind of the end. You want these to be a little crunchy, not fully cooked. That's the way I found this, the best way to do Spanish rice. So, and you can also...
if you're like me and you don't like al dente, you just cook it a little longer.
Well, I guess, yeah. But now, you like al dente some things. It's just you don't like your rice or your pasta or anything like that al dente. Also, what I like to do, and of course Debbie doesn't like this, but I like to add some cayenne pepper. I like my Spanish rice on the hotter side.
That's pretty with all 3 colors.
Yeah, that's a nice little look right there to have all 3 in there. So, I'll take my bench scraper now and we'll put those in there. So that will work on down. And got a little bit of water from the tomatoes in there.
Good.
So all of this is going around. We also put some salt and pepper, remember, at the beginning. So that went in there at the very beginning. So this is going to do its thing. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that's an old saying, never mind. Meanwhile, back over here at the, now those tomatoes will start to render a little more juice the longer this cooks.
Good.
All right, so back over here, we're now going to put something very interesting. Again, part of the lure of great Mediterranean cooking is olives. So we're going to throw some olives in on top. These are just small green olives. And I'm just going to roughly chop them. I don't want them very small. I want them to still look like olives. So we're just going to cut them a couple of times each. And we're going to throw those into the chicken mix. We're going to put the rest of our salt, the rest of our pepper, and the rest of our oregano. And the juice, oh, I got my juicer out here. The juice of a lemon. So we're going to put that in there as well. That's going to add a little more acidity. You know, we talked about the acidity from the wine, which we're not using, but we're putting this lemon in there as the acidity for this. So we'll get a little more juice there. So that's going to look really nice, and that's going to continue to cook on down. Now we're gonna let that simmer. We're gonna put our lid on it and let that simmer for 6 or 8 minutes while the rice is continuing to get ready. Now I think this rice is a little too tight for me. I want to loosen it up a little bit. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of this my newfound chicken stock that I've got going on here, and I'm just going to pour a couple of tablespoons in there. And that's going to loosen this up a little bit. That'll give it a chance to do a little bit more boiling in there instead of just trying to, the onion and all that. That'll do a little bit of good there. We want that to have just a little bit more
Should you cover
liquid in
it?
it. No, you don't need to cover this one. Now that one you do need to cover, but you don't need to cover this. It needs to boil all of that liquid out. But I want those vegetables to still be crunchy and look good. And I want to, I didn't get my spoon rest out. So I'm going to try to taste test this right now and see how it's faring.
Marcus Hughes is watching.
Marcus, man, good to hear you on here. Oh, that is so good. Oh, that is so good. I'll tell you what, rutabaga.
Can you tell it's rutabaga?
No, I cannot tell it's rutabaga at all. Let me tell you guys, rutabaga is the best substitute there is. And I almost use jicama. Have you seen jicama? I'm sorry, jicama. Jicama. We made some fries with it one time. It's a healthy vegetable. And jicama, I almost got that to make rice with. And I thought, you know, I've been on this rutabaga kick for a while. I'm going to continue to do the rutabagas. And I am so glad I did. They are phenomenal.
I'll tell you, the potato salad you make with the rutabagas, you cannot tell the difference. It is just delicious.
Yeah, we're having a Bulldogs watch party at the Elks Lodge this Saturday. And I'm going to make several things with rutabagas, and they're not going to have any idea they're not made with potatoes.
Megan Elaine is watching.
Megan, hey, I friended you on Facebook here recently. It's so good to have you on here watching this. Hope y'all are all interested in your health. You know, health is something that Debbie and I have gotten really serious about over the last, 3 years now. We celebrated our 3-year anniversary. And I've lost 120 pounds, did that in 9 months. Took Debbie a little longer. She lost her 85 pounds. So we've lost 200 pounds together, and it has just been a phenomenal ride. We want to help you to get healthy. Plus, we have a new active line. Let me show you this. We have a new active line now, and I know it's backwards, but anyway, these are EAAs. These are the essential amino acids. You know, essential amino acids are what? They're essential for all of us, especially anybody over the age of 30. Do you know you lose about 8% of your body fat per year just by aging? And we want to do something about that. So we've gotten into the health field now, the ultra health field, by coming out with the EAAs. They go on the market tomorrow. So if you want to have the best tasting, best EAAs,
Tell them what flavor these are.
Oh, we have mango, This one is orange mango, and this one is strawberry lemonade. Debbie likes the orange mango better. I like the strawberry lemonade, so it works out good. We also have the best whey powder. You know, a lot of you are using, if you're into bodybuilding and weightlifting and all of that, you're using whey powder to build protein. Well, all of these whey powder, all of these things go on sale tomorrow. It's the first time they're available to the public starting tomorrow. You don't have to be one of our clients to buy this. You can buy it directly from us without having to sign up on the health program. And also, if you're interested in helping your family and friends get healthy, again, you don't have to sign up on the health program to be part of our marketing program. So you can become a coach, a health coach. We teach you how to do all that. Just sign up your family and friends, and you can make some good money. We got our bonus yesterday, and we were amazed at the number of zeros on the end of what we got yesterday for our bonus. So guys, if you want to do that, let us know. We'd be happy to help you in any way that we can. We have just found this a phenomenal opportunity. By the way, we're going on a big cruise, all expenses paid, and there's time for you to get in on it too. It's going to the Western Caribbean, and it'll be coming up at the end of April next year. And qualifications are very simple. All expenses paid. We're going to be going on that cruise, and we hope many of you will join us on it as well. So our Mediterranean chicken is just about done. Let's see. Let me cut into this chicken breast here and see where we are as far as doneness is concerned. Oh yeah, we're good. We're done. That's excellent.
Catherine Connor's watching.
Hey, Catherine. Catherine and I go way back. We were employees together at Livonia Speedway many years ago. I had a chance to highlight Livonia Speedway. Matter of fact, had a conversation with them this afternoon. They are wanting to carry their banquet live on one of my radio shows. And so what we may have to do is tape it. I don't know that we can go live, but we may have to tape it. And we may have to come back and do a taped version of it because it's on Saturday afternoons, and I'm not on radio on Saturday afternoons. So we've got our Spanish rice. We're going to plate this up. Let me show you what we're going to do. And because it's Spanish, we saw some beautiful flowers while we were in Rome, Italy, so I'm going to use our floral plates. How you like that, sweetheart?
So I'm going to take Pioneer Woman. So.
Well, I know, but they're floral and they're pretty. So anyway, Ree Drummond would be happy that we're using her plates. So we're going to take some of the chicken and we're going to put it on there. And I want to take this chicken and I'm going to try to cut it, but I've already got slits in it. So I'm not doing a very good job of doing this without laying it down somewhere, but I'm going to cut that. And I'm messing my presentation up, darn it. Okay, we're going to take some of these veggies and put those in there as well. See some of those olives in there? Mm-hmm. We're going to put that in there and some of the tomatoes. Now, we're going to do this number right here. We're going to take a lemon and we're going to put a lemon on there. And we're going to take another quarter of a lemon and put it on top like this. And we're going to take a little bit of, I'm going to set that right there. I think that's hot in case anybody wonders. I'm going to take some parsley, just rough chop it, and I'm going to put a little parsley around here on it. Now, how's that for a presentation?
Beautiful.
There you are. It's Mediterranean chicken. Today we're using chicken thighs, but you can, of course, use chicken breast if you'd like, as well as Spanish rice using rutabaga. It is outstanding. Remember, if you like this, just hit the like button. I'll send you the recipes. You can try it yourself. It's great. You'll love it. It's a lot of fun. Of course, you can substitute real rice if you're not really in the healthy mood. You can substitute cauliflower rice. There's all kinds of things you can do to make this with the things that you have or you want to get for yourself. Don't have to make it like I did. I'm just making it in the healthiest way possible. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you. Don't forget, Your Life Matters every Sunday night. Last week we talked about self-confidence. This Sunday night we'll be tackling another subject on Your Life Matters. That's 8 o'clock Sunday night right here on Facebook Live, and the Champ Racing Show coming up on Thursday night. Already got my guests lined up. You'll have to tune in Thursday night at 8 o'clock and see who the guests are on the Champ Racing Show. Have a good day. Have fun. Debbie, thank you so much for your great camera work. Debbie's a little under the weather. She had eye surgery yesterday, so she's kind of looking out of one eye, but she does a phenomenal job, and thanks to her for being here to do this, because I know she probably doesn't feel like it. But anyway, thank you so much for viewing. We'll see all of you next week.
Bye.